How we doing, everyone? Tom Grisafi, Agbo Media, Agbo Trading, joined by the one and only Jamie Dickerman. He's up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Red River Farm Network. Jamie, we've got a lot to talk about. We got pre-USDA jitters. We have the government open. We're going to be hit with more data than any geek could ever handle. We have cattle trading down pretty hard today. And you guys had an exclusive interview. It's about 10 minutes long. I encourage everyone to go to your website and listen to it. But let's start off there. Tell us what the great Mr. Don talked about with this young fellow right here.
Well, yeah, great to be here, Tommy. And our own Don Wick had a chance to talk with Deputy Ag Secretary Stephen Vaden, and a great interview with him. He was very, very forthcoming with a lot of good information in there, and talked a lot about different things, including, one of the big questions, I guess, that everybody's asking, and we've seen the market kind of wonder this is, the whole deal with China. When that first came out, everybody was so excited about the fact that we finally have this deal with China. They're going to buy X amount of beans. They're really going to do it. We've got, so this is great news for everybody. Everybody was so excited. And then all of a sudden, we haven't really seen anything, haven't seen much movement. And the markets are kind of going, hey, what gives here? Why, what's happening? And talking with Mr. Vaden about that, he says, look, the Chinese are going to honor that agreement, and basically saying if they don't, they know who they're dealing with, and he's referring to President Trump and saying that they don't want to go back on the deal that they made with President Trump, because that won't go well for them. So he's very confident that the Chinese will honor that agreement. And so I thought that was very interesting that he would say that.
Yeah, he seemed very confident. Let's just go that. We got to encourage everyone, go to Red River Farm Network and search that story. What was that story called under your website?
There's actually several different versions of it up there. If you just go to the rrfn.com website right now, and you see there's different stories and different headlines. Beijing expected to honor the deal. The changing market conditions to influence aid package. There's a lot of different headlines there because we broke it up into several different stories because there was so much information in that interview. But because he covered basically everything.
It was good. It was real good. Really I was laughing. I texted Don. I'm like, that was good stuff. And it was very important because it was on the eve of the government opening up. Now we're open. A little headline I heard from, just noticed a headline from Rollins. Snap folks will be recharged, she thinks, by this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Snap cards will be going. I imagine it's going to get busy at the stores. People need food. They need to start preparing for Thanksgiving. We're going to see a little run on the old grocery market. And that's great for people because it's getting cold out there, and we got to take care of the good folks. And I think they'll get all their money back and more, but there is definitely a lag, and it's probably affecting our meat market. Speaking of that, let's jump right into cattle market in the seller's position today. And that bull market, looking at a chart, it's still long-term over 5 years trending up. But boy, in the short term, has it come down. Feeder cattle about a $45 range in the last 30 days. What are you hearing from people when you talk cattle, Jim?
Well, it's interesting, and when you take a look at what the sale barns have been doing around here and in the region, the tri-state area, North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, when you look at those sale barns and you look at numbers for over the past month, and you've seen how much it just such a variation, between where it was, where it went to, and it didn't take long for it to go there either. So a lot of guys real conscientious of that, real cautious of that. It's a great time in the cattle market. We've seen great numbers and things were good, but it's also a little bit scary of how volatile it is. And there's a lot of guys that are a little concerned about that. And then, of course, when you throw in the mix of what, the president had said and making his comments about, getting the price of beef down, that certainly made everybody, run for the exits a little bit. And that unfortunately caused some things to drop. And that's really why we've seen such volatility here lately. But just a volatile market, just a volatile time. It's, one guy, I think, when I was talking to him yesterday, said, "What a time to be alive," is what he
Oh,
said.
absolutely. Yeah.
Just a crazy, unprecedented time in the cattle world right now.
Yeah, and keep an eye, folks, on coffee. The price of coffee that's tied to Brazil and the Brazil tariffs. I don't know if I've ever traded a coffee contract ever in my life. That may be one of the few commodities I've never traded. We've traded a few orange juice, a few lumber. I don't know if I've ever done coffee, and I'll just watch it from a distance from here. Love drinking the stuff, though. But if Trump was to take off those tariffs from Brazil, that would have effect. I believe Rollins is down in Mexico or going to Mexico or talk of going to Mexico with the big group. And as it gets cold, they could let the cattle back in, and they need to get colder to help alleviate some of that screwworm. But screwworm sounds pretty serious in Mexico, James, and I don't think we want that stuff here yet. We're used to taking in over 1 million head of cattle a year from Mexico.
Yeah, it's something that when you talk to anybody in the industry, they don't want it. They don't want that border to be open right now. They don't feel comfortable with it, and they certainly don't want to deal with the screwworm issue. So I think you're going to hear from anybody in the industry. I don't think anybody's going to say, yeah, open that thing up. And I feel like USDA has been pretty cautious with it up to this point, and the way Secretary Rollins has talked about it, it doesn't appear like she's in any big hurry to open that thing up, and that's I think a good thing for everybody in the industry. They don't want to see it open right now, not until there's a much better handle on things with this screwworm issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, we went through. We got the Ag Secretary. We talked about the USDA tomorrow. You talked to a lot of people over there at Red River Farm Network. Some people think yields could go up a little bit. Some people think they can go down. The market's trading like we're running out of soybeans, or we sold a bunch to China. North Dakota is the hub of all that, because you had the poorest cash basis of anywhere in the country this fall. $1.75 under to possibly no bid was the talk. Now all of a sudden, I have a lot of clients. Matter of fact, the second we get done recording, I got to get back to work because folks are trading beans today on this massive rally we've had last few months. What are you hearing, my friend?
I'm hearing that too. That a lot of guys are real happy with what's happening, at least in that regard. And it's amazing. The bean crop itself. When you talk to guys growing the beans, they'll tell you that it was a very much a variable year around here. There's some areas that did really, really well, and then some areas that did not do that well. There are some disease concerns, mold, and certain things like that. So, I mean, there was different things that they had to put up with. Of course, there was some horrible weather situations up here with some really bad storms. Derechos, tornadoes, you name it, taking things out. There was early frost to deal with. So, different things there that caused that crop to be very variable around here. But that being said, the other part of that, of course, is the uncertainty around the prices. And you mentioned the basis and everything, and just a real uncertain time. And it's good to see some movement finally, some things happening, and seeing some things going up in the right direction. And I think there's a little more optimism around here when it comes to the soybeans. First of all, when they announced that deal a couple of weeks ago, and there was actual talk about, okay, look, the wheel is starting to turn here with the deal with China. Things are going to turn around a little bit. We're going to start seeing some things happening. And then we started seeing those basis levels a little bit changing. So that is, I think, I think there's some cautious optimism when it comes to that. Man, talk about crops, the beans variable, but I'll tell you what, I don't know what they're going to do about the corn numbers in the report tomorrow, but any guy I talk to around here that grows corn, 90% of them have said this is one for the books around here. And so, I mean, at least where we're sitting, the corn could be a record crop for a lot of guys this year up in this part of the world. I know that there was issues in some parts of the country, obviously with southern rust and everything, but here locally in our little bubble, there's a lot of corn there's a lot of corn out here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my friend. Before we end here, explain so well how in that interview yesterday, are there going to be Trump bucks or not, and how much?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we talked a lot about that with Stephen Vaden, and he basically saying, they have to take into account current market conditions, and so Don had a chance to talk with him earlier in the summer, and that was at Minnesota Farm Fest, and Stephen Vaden kind of made reference to that, saying, back when I talked to you earlier, the soybean price was much different than it is right now. So hitting those 15-month highs in the soybean prices, they have to take that into account. And so anyway, that being said, the aid payment may not be as much as what originally was possibly promised or talked about. So they're looking at it from the price of commodities changing a little bit. That may change how much aid comes out. Of course, that's great that the prices have come up, but the inputs haven't gone down. So really that's something to be considered. And he did say that they all also are considering that. So um, I guess we'll wait and see what really happens. But he's it does sound very promising that something will be coming. There will be something coming.
Sounds good. All right, Jamie Dickerman, Red River Farm Network, coming to us from beautiful Grand Forks, North Dakota. Tommy Grisafi, Agbo Media, Agbo Trading. I'm in Valparaiso, Indiana today. We have a big bad USDA report tomorrow. We got a lot of news. The government is back open. They finally got it done. I don't know what they got done while they were closed. Like one of those songs of what were we fighting for? What are we fighting over? Who knows? I got to tell you, I didn't mind the government being shut down. I actually enjoyed it, but it's nice to see it open. Phones are ringing. I'm gonna get this bundled up and I'm gonna stream it out on X and everywhere else, folks. If you're watching this, typically the video of the Red River Farm Network is locked down because it's for premium subscribers. But we had the beautiful young face of Jamie Dickerman on today, and we didn't want to hold him back. But if you want to subscribe to premium, $25 a month, $250 a year, www.agbull.com. Mr. Jamie, you finish it up. How do people get a hold of you? What are you optimistic about in agriculture, my friend?
I am. Check out our website, by the way, rrfn.com. We're there. You can find all our socials and everything right there at that website. That's the best place to go find me. But I'm excited about the fact that, the government's back open. Things are going to move. We're going to see a deal. We're going to see some things going on with China. I feel like things are going to pick up. And I think there's a little bit of optimism, at least with the guys that I talk to on a regular basis. They feel like, what, this too shall pass. We'll turn it around. Things will get better. It just hang on. And so I think that's how I feel. I feel the same way. Just hang on. Things will turn. We'll see a turn, and it's coming sooner than later, hopefully.
Sounds good. Jamie Dickerman. Until next time. See you, my friend.
Thank you.